TAPS, which stands for Teacher Assessment in Primary Science, is a project that I and my former colleague Sarah started back in 2013 at my former employer, Bath Spa University, and it's a project that we've also managed to bring here to Cardiff Met and to South Wales this year. So the project is now just finishing its 4th year. I think it's really impressive, a testament to the excellent work of the 6 schools, the TAPS project schools, the 2 associate schools, and most of all my colleagues, Beth and Lisa and Ruth, to how much has been achieved this year. But this isn't the end. We know that we've had this 1 year's funding from the Primary Science Teaching Trust, but there's still a lot more to do. As far as TAPS goes, TAPS is moving on geographically. Sarah's taking it to Northern Ireland next year and to Scotland the year after, and it'll be needing to be further adapted for those 2 different curricula. But as far as Wales is concerned, well, we know that we've got the Successful Futures Donaldson curriculum coming in. We know we've got pioneer schools, some of which are represented here, who have been developing work in the area of learning and experience in science and technology. We've also just had, and I think they're about to be published, the work of the working groups. We've had AOLE working groups across all of those 6 areas of learning and experience, together with digital competence, and they've produced reports. And we've also had an assessment working group that's been looking at assessment for the Donaldson curriculum. And what I'd like to say is I believe that TAPS and the TAPS pyramid and the TAPS focused tasks, particularly the ones that have been developed this year by the TAPS Cymru team on science and technology, are entirely consistent with the general direction of the Donaldson Successful Futures curriculum. So the approach to assessment that is embodied in TAPS, this idea of building up from classroom-based assessment for learning into tracking of pupil progress, that is very much the same set of principles that Graham Donaldson outlined in that report 2 years ago on assessment. So we think that the TAPS resource has a huge amount to contribute to assessment in primary schools in Wales. Now, one of the things that will need to be developed in the next couple of years or so are those criteria. And we said that when we originally developed TAPS back in England in 2013, it was partly in response to teachers getting really worried about the loss of levels. And of course the same thing is happening in Wales. We're still working to levels at the moment, but there will be assessment outcomes, we believe, in each area of learning experience for each year, and there will also be at 3-year intervals these progression steps that we have to report pupils' levels, not levels, but the extent to which they have achieved those outcomes. So there's a big job of work to be done by someone, and I think that we'd like to offer our services here in developing those criteria and in demonstrating how the TAPS pyramid can contribute to them. I think also those focus practical tasks, so focus assessment tasks in science and technology that we've been working on, they're not only assessment tasks, they're just good pedagogy. They're really exciting, engaging tasks that combine science and design and technology in different ways. And that's been something I've been interested in for a number of years, the relationship between science and technology in the primary curriculum. And we think that there's potential for developing a lot more of those science and technology focused assessment tasks, not only as assessment, but just as here's ways of doing science and technology in the Donaldson curriculum in ways that children will enjoy and which makes the most of the different skills that they'll be developing, the technological skills, the scientific skills, the technological knowledge and the scientific knowledge, and combining those in ways that are kind of pedagogically meaningful. It'd be great to have you not only using the paper-based version here, but go online on the PSTT website to look at the electronic version, and we will keep you informed as to when the online version with Welsh examples, the bilingual version, will be available hopefully in the autumn. So we've still got quite a lot of work to do. Another thing that's happened though in Wales that's been launched this year is going to be launched actually, is NEST, and that is the National Network of Excellence in Science and Technology. NEST is a way of disseminating good practice that's going on in schools across Wales in science and technology. And they're going to have a section on Hwb, which is going to be devoted to excellent resources in science and technology. And I've been talking to Neil earlier about getting the TAPS pyramid, once it's available in its full Welsh online version, getting it on the NEST section of Hwb, so that Wales teachers in Wales can use it. But I think that there will also be funding that's funneling down through the regional consortia for developing work in science and technology. So keep an eye out for that, and we hope that the work on TAPS, which we think should be key to supporting the embedding of the Donaldson curriculum, we hope that that will also be able to take advantage of the regional consortia funding to move us on to the next phase.